Ron Jetter, the third task of grief, the third bag. I've already talked in the second part of my series and the third part of my series about coming to terms with the finality of the loss and wrestling with the emotions, managing those emotions of the loss. The next task then is coming to terms with daily living and the way that a loss or death has affected my life in concrete ways. Again, these tasks and my ways of talking about them come from reading and studying and using for many years J. William Worden's grief counseling and grief therapy. Dr. Worden's specific work on the tasks of grief is, I believe, seminal. The way he has built upon Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the founder of the study of death and dying, is inspiring to me. So I owe a debt to Dr. Worden and always want to give credit as I talk about the bags that we have to pack and unpack. The third task of grief is to come to terms with a life to build a life. Or as I put it, the third bag I have to pack is the one that has all those things that I'm going to do. It's full of stuff that I've been doing, but if it's a spouse that I've lost, I can't do all those things that I did with a spouse. Those can't go back in the bag. And if there's things that I have to do, the things that my spouse did that have to get done for me to just be a person, an entity, I got to figure it out. There's a lot of things. I mean, look at all these. Host a birthday party. Will I be doing that anytime soon? Going out to dinner. Alone? Go to a movie. Take a walk. All these cooked meals, some of these we would have to put in the category of that has to get done. Attend a social event. Don't feel like that. Not during grief. Don't want to be around people. Sewing or quilting. Supporting a charity. Oh boy, not until I get the finances figured out. Fix things. Well, and as my mom would say, it was always Dad that fixed things. And when he got too old to fix them, thank goodness they had kids. They'd come to town and fix things. But what happens when you lose your fixer? Play cards. Oh yeah, one of the things that often I hear of people who have lost a spouse. We did things as a couple, and now I get invited to couple things and I'm a fifth wheel. Or who's going to be my bridge partner, my pinochle partner now? Play tennis. Go shopping. That's got to happen somehow. Play golf. You can write down your own. These are called activities of daily living. Go to church. I'm not sure. Which of these are going to go back in the bag? I'm not no church. Will they understand? Will they accept? Oh boy. I don't know. I'm angry at God. But I still believe. Do a crossword puzzle. Dress myself. Some of these activities, in fact, we may lose as we age, and we need that helper. What if our helper isn't there? To bathe or shower? Mow the lawn. Use the toilet. What if I wasn't the one who mowed the lawn? Who's going to do that now? Use the toilet. Take it for granted until we don't. Household chores. I've got dozens and dozens of these. Feed myself. Part of aging is the loss of these basic activities. And so part of aging forces grief on us as well. Aging forces us to move, to repack that bag of daily activities over and over and over again, to take activities out and maybe not put new ones in. For instance, a woman that I knew, she had never balanced the checkbook and her husband died. She had no idea what to do. She went down to the bank and met with someone at the bank and explained, I don't know what to do. The bank person says, let's set up a series of appointments. Within about 2 months, that woman felt confident. She had to gain a new skill. That was not in her bag. It was in her husband's, but it had to go in her bag as she packed to go forward. Drive a car. Volunteer. People who are grieving may withdraw from activities that they've been doing. If they become caregivers because something has happened to a loved one, that's a grief. That means they're volunteering the things they used to do for pleasure and for helping others. Now take a back burner. They don't have time. They don't have the ability. They can't leave someone alone, perhaps. Go running. Well, I wish. My knees, no, I can barely walk some days. Camping, make handicrafts, manage the money. I don't manage the money in this house. I know where it is, I know where it comes from, and I have a pretty good understanding. And at tax time, I can figure out within a few $100s whether we owe or get a refund, just because in my head I can do that. I'm really good at math, but when it comes to the checkbook, I'm not allowed to touch it. That's her job. It was decided 40 years ago, and it hasn't changed. Attend a concert or play, enjoy physical intimacy, exercise, listen to music. Which of those are no longer important? Which of those have to get done? Which of those do you need someone else's help to do? Which of those do you need to hire someone? Which of those do you need training so that you can take it on? As someone said, if you took all these activities and laid them out on a kitchen table, representing, especially for people who share a household, when one of those dies, one of them is disabled, something happens, it's like sawing that table in half and everything falls to the ground. Now you got to find a way to prop the table up and put enough of them back on. And it won't be the ones you want, not at first. It'll be the ones you need. You have to pay the bills. You have to eat. You have to make sure that things get fixed. Homes, cars. That's the minimum. The third task of grieving is to figure out how to live differently, how to live in a different set of circumstances, and to gradually be ready to take that new set of skills and activities into the future. You can add activities to it. You can add social activities, volunteer activities, other kinds of things to it as you evaluate your time, your finances, your energy. But the first thing to do is to figure out what's the minimum that's got to go in the bag. What do I need to do? Balancing the checkbook and managing money, they have to be in there. Shopping and cooking, yeah, okay. Social event, I don't think so. Social exercise, you know what? I hate exercising. I don't feel like it, but if I don't, then I'm going to pay for it physically. So I'm going to put exercise in the bag. Bathe and shower, that's going to be important. Personal grooming, even during grief. Things you don't feel like may not be important. Go to church, oh, I suppose. May as well. Probably